What's good? It's your man Hurricane. Tell you what it do with the HHN special stories. Back again. Who is it? Nigga Hurricane. We in the house again. Said the pack of men, ladies and gentlemen, front, left, right. We back again. Back again with the HHN special stories. And man, everybody is live right now. Everybody picked the right time to go live. I'm talking about when it cooled off and shit. Everybody in. Everybody just got done eating. Now we smoking, drinking, kicking back and relax. There's a lot of people that I want to motherfucking see right now. There's a lot of people that's live right now that I want to hop on the panel and shit, but I was supposed to do this shit earlier. But at the end of the day, I was like, shit. Ate, smoked, drank, caught the itis. And plus, I was taking a lot of notes, and plus, I was working on some music and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was just doing me. Real shit, just doing me. I let everybody coming through. Shout out to everybody coming through. But today we're about to talk about Juliette Engel. And it's a long video. It's like a 50-something minute video, but we're gonna probably chop that shit up to about like 30 minutes. But shout out to everybody. But Juliette Engel, she's a victim of the CIA MK Ultra program. And I know everybody heard about what the CIA was doing with Project Monarch and MK Ultra and a whole bunch of other shit. And the shit they was doing with children and shit. So we about to get off into that. Most people probably haven't heard of Juliette Engel. She wrote 2 books. And she's on the Jimmy Dore show. So but before we get into that, we're gonna play this track. Dr. Blight.
I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. Let's go. Waking up to the sunrise. Gotta ease my mind. We still living in these evil times. Now it's time for me to redesign this whole world. Cause the blind always lead the blind. Call me Morpheus, I'm telling you to free your mind. You the one just gotta look deep inside. See the signs of the times of the leash and I. Trying to lock up my brothers till we speak the mind. COINTELPRO sending out the lead the spies. I can see through the lies and the weak design. Keep their gas so quick with the speed of mine. Better than Dr. Who when I speed through time. Destroy the government with my neat design. Full-time cannon blast, it will be divine. Create a new paradise, it will be sublime. I'm brighter than the sun, can you see the shine? I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. I am the baddest, bustin' at the fashions. I got the static, my status will damage the planet. Make everybody panic, erratic, the bullets sporadic. Because I fucking had it, I bad it. The fact that y'all scared of revolution, damn it, fanatics. They worship celebrities, they do therapy, clarity. All celebrities is a parody, scared to see. Cause them bitch niggas are scared of me. Going against the revolution is a heresy. Parabeams, I kill seraphims and Elohims. And the mighty forces, I kill them all and become the king. Going to another planet, scoping everything. Found out that the government there destroying everything, everything. Yes, I beat first the polarity. Shatter paradigms that world leaders ain't never seen. Take a team, I'ma hit them all where they do the thing. Turn them all to dust, they'll never see me do it. I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. No debating, sending revolutions in every nation. Why you hating? Cause I'm changing your book of revelation of the nation. Sending cold rebels in every station. Putting 20 in your chest like you was Jerry Payton. Pump faking. Did you kill with no hesitation? Fuck the world leaders, they all gon' see the devastation. New location, better witness to new adjudication. Crimes against humanity, kill them all with decapitation. I'm a boss, taking charge, collapsing warp star, Star Wars shit, hell yeah, I got the force star, corpse fall, that ain't all, getting scorched on, torch on, with these bars, you better call Saw, fuck off, I steal powers from North Stars, punching body parts apart, fist up the North Star, know the door, I am Dr. Blight, the Valion, grab my instruments, I'm an operate on all of y'all. I'm Dr. Blight. It's time to fight. Fight for what is right. 'Cause I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. It's time to fight. Fight for what is right. I'm Dr. Blight. I'm Dr. Blight. It's time to fight. Fight for what is right.
But this is off the books. Wait, as in illegal? Or...
Lana, everything the CIA does within the borders of the United States is illegal, especially Project MK Ultra.
Wait, MK Ultra? That was the CIA's mind control program, right? Yeah, it's since been discredited.
Discredited for being batshit crazy.
It wasn't.
And for being in direct violation of the Nuremberg Code, which was written because of medical experiments by Nazi war criminals, many of whom, after World War II, spoiler alert, came to work for the CIA goddamn A.
Wait, what? Look, the Soviets were kicking our ass in the Cold War. Our scientists had to think outside the box.
Oh, is that the box where they kept informed consent? Because I'm pretty sure that all those mental patients the CIA force-fed LSD didn't give it.
Wait, what?
Mental patients, Lana. They gave them LSD every day for 6 months.
Not 6 months. The longest one was only 174 days. That is
6 months.
Oh, and what about Project Artichoke before Ultra, where you dickbags got innocent people addicted to morphine?
Look, all that crazy drug stuff was intentionally secretly leaked to divert attention from the real goal of Project MK Ultra, which was mind control through hypnosis and torture. Is that supposed to make it better? It's not supposed to make it anything.
No, but for real though, the CIA really drugged and hypnotized people?
Oh, please, that's merely the tip of a very dark and twisted iceberg.
Are you not a Nazi? Yeah? Well, what about your father? No, he was a scientist. Pretty sure the Nazis had scientists. No, they didn't. That's why they lost the war. War for science. Well, we'll just see what Miss Archer has to say about this Nazi beeswax. Fine. Or, not fine. Are you not listening to me?
Obviously not. My God, how is there not one picture of us together?
Krieger's father was a Nazi scientist.
JFK's father was a bootlegger.
What? That's like comparing apples to Nazi oranges.
Oranges, exactly. Do you like powdered orange breakfast drink?
No, not really.
How about microwave ovens, Neil Armstrong, hook and loop fasteners?
Okay, you lost.
None of those things would have been possible without the Nazi scientists we brought back after World War II.
The Nazis invented Neil Armstrong
Rockets, which put him on the moon. After the war ended, we were snatching up crowd scientists like hotcakes. You don't believe me? Walk into NASA sometime and yell Heil Hitler. Whoop, they all jump straight up with zero. I know all about Dr. Krieger's origins, and I also know that nobody likes a tattletale.
Yes, Cyril.
And if there's one thing I've learned in all my years as a spy master, it's that you keep your friends close.
Yeah, Cyril.
And possible genetic clones of Adolf Hitler closer.
Yes, wait, what? Yeah, what? Oh my God, it was you. My 15th birthday, you were at the compound.
When they finish, bring me the boy.
The day my bent Dobermans accidentally ate my head.
Oh, Krieger. Nothing's what I met after the war when I was in Italy with Claudio.
Who's that? His brother?
No.
Ew.
Are you finished?
Hang on. Ew. Now I'm done.
All counter a possible Soviet invasion of Western Europe. But then it sort of turned into this whole weird crypto-fascist CIA shit show, starring Ellen Dulles and a bunch of former Nazis. Thanks, Holly Hindsight.
What's the point?
This is the TV show, Archer.
Yeah. Salute. What up, though? Daniel Luna in the building. What's good? We about to talk about Juliette more. I just want to put everything in context before we go. Like, that was some clips from the show Archer. If y'all ever watched the cartoon Archer, that shit is hilarious. It's like a funny version of James Bond, but they told secrets of the CIA and shit. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Sonny Escobedo, the boxer. The 4th of July, the 4th of July. Yeah, that's crazy. But like for everybody that celebrated happy holidays or whatever, I just was chilling, working on shit. Like I should have went live earlier, but fuck it. But everybody get off into another video real quick. But right before that, we go play this.
Mastering the forces, chartering the courses, showing no remorse when I light you like some torches. Flames is enormous, burning universes. Cosmic entities had to run into some churches. Burst through the curtains, see him looking nervous. Took a fair wife, ripped the soul from her cervix. Yeah, it's picture perfect, like a bad bitch with a Birkin. The job description is a surgeon. Grip the excursion, smoking weed while I'm sipping bourbon. Burning philosophies of Tyler Durden. What's the rule of Fight Club? Don't treat it like a nightclub. Tell my fucking secrets, you'll be out like a light bulb. Cold with the sniper. Randy Orton, bitch, I'm the viper. You better dodge, bitch, I'ma bite ya. Cosmic maneuvers, gotta use mantras and the mudras. The bad bitch can use the Kama Sutra. Baby, I salute ya. Put your mouth on it like a hookah. She 5'6" and got some bazookas. Fly up to Cuba, train to be a mercenary shooter. And come back and label me a ruler. I need me a suitor, a tall Russian chick that's a cougar. Assassin bitch to carry a Ruger. Hand me the vodka. I think she said her name was Natasha. I had to scratch her name off the roster. Smoking like a Rasta. Shot him dead while he eating pasta. They found out the goon was a mobster, but I'm the monster. Decapitate you all with an Oscar. The gruesome scene will rearrange your posture. Fast him up the opera, but I got away in the chopper. Before I left his brains on the locker. Knocked out the copper. Revolutionary spitting proper. We kicking heads off like a soccer. Scorching.
Yep. The Venture Brothers is the shit. Brock Sampson is a monster. But as you see the picture on this screen right here, if y'all played Metal Gear, y'all know who that is. That's Raiden. And he was a motherfucker that was taken as a child and hypnotized him to be a child soldier. AKA he became Jack the motherfucking Ripper. Played the motherfucking Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. That shit is awesome. But he been in Metal Gear since part 2. And when he came out, everybody hated him. Everybody hated Raiden because like when the Metal Gear Solid series part 2 showed its motherfucking commercial and promotion, they were showing Snake. And you play with Snake, I think like the first, like 40 minutes, maybe an hour, at the beginning. And then you play with Raiden through the whole game until the end. And then you play with Snake again. Then you play with Raiden again to finish the game. But we hated Raiden. But over time, we grew to find out that that fucking game told the goddamn truth about what the fuck is going on now. But anyway, this all leads to this same story of Juliette Engel. And she is on the Jimmy Dore show, and Jimmy Dore is going to discuss the file that was given to him by Juliette Engel. And due to the Freedom of Information Act or whatever, they're about to be reading from that, and all the shit that has been declassified, all the shit that they called us conspiracy theorists is all this shit. The conspiracy theorists are 100 and 0. But either way, let's go.
December 23rd. Yes. And it's from the National Security Archive. It's 40 years of Freedom of Information Action. And it's all about the CIA's behavior control experiments and the focus of new scholarly collection. And so they're releasing all the stuff that they were doing with their Monarch program, the MK Ultra, and there was another one, Blue something.
Wait, Monarch is in that? What? Okay.
Okay, I don't know what any of this is. So, Julia, tell me what you... Go ahead, take it wherever you want.
Sure. I'm 76 years old. I was 6 years old in 1955 when my father sold me into the MK Ultra program. My whole family were CIA, NSA agents. My uncle's one of the founders of the NSA. I could go into that, but anyway, I was one of the...
Yeah, she was given away by her father. Her whole family is CIA, NSA, okay? Let's go. Now, disclaimer. All this shit just came out. We talked about this shit for over the past 20, 30, 40 years ourselves. But they called us crazy. And the last videos that I've seen of this situation was it was a chick, I forgot her name. She said like she was an Illuminati slave. There was another chick from across the world said she was an Illuminati slave. And there was another chick that said there was MK Ultra slaves. It wasn't a lot of videos, but the ones that I did catch, it was always women. And one dude. But I can't find the videos no more. But if I remember the name, all I gotta do is probably go to DuckDuckGo or some shit like that, probably try to find it, or probably go to the deep web and find it. I know, but either way I go, these are the victims of the MK Ultra program.
First of the Bloodline kids who was sold into this program. And I was in...
They said first of the Bloodline kids that were sold into the program. God damn, that's deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, always use your critical thinking skills and common sense, and always read between the lines what motherfuckers talking about. Because motherfuckers could be lying. So, you know what I'm saying? So, motherfuckers could be clout chasing and all this shit. Because at the end of the day, why come out with this now? But this file came out in 2023. But still, though, after all the truth comes out, where's the outrage? Where is the revolution? You feel me? Motherfuckers should be pissed right now. Military wife. Was she old? Well, she's old now, but like when she got to the program, she was 6. Never played it, but tell the story.
For 11 years involved physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse, satanic rituals, and an entire program of building a structure in your mind that could be externally controlled. It also included remote viewing, and I was in the division of the program. It was the Monarch program, and as a pretty little girl,
she was in the Monarch program. Y'all just heard the Archer shit talk about Project Monarch, Project MK Ultra.
I was put in the sex magic program, and that was more about...
And she said a sex magic program. God damn. They really trying to break a motherfucker on some real shit.
Sexual abuse and sex magic, but it was also about teaching us to project sexual energy into other people and then use that to control them. So anyway, it was a terrible experience. The core of the program, every session would start with being tied to a spinning wheel and hearing the chant. And this is really, really important to what's happening in our country right now, because they would chant over and over, there is no day, there is no night, there is no light, there is no dark, there is no man, there is no woman, there is no adult, there is no child, there is no up, there's no down, on and on and on, going faster and faster and faster until they would reach a climax when you were just absolutely ready to die. And at that point, as the person tied on the wheel, I was supposed to give up my soul in a flash of green, and they would say, there is only green. And I think most people did, because if you gave up your soul, then you were rewarded from that moment on. You were the singer that couldn't sing but gets the $1 million contract, the writer that can't write but sells all the books. You eventually.
I agree.
I believe this.
Women controlling people with sex is a revolution. Hell no, nigga, that's manipulation. That's succubus activity. I totally agree.
Accountable agency in your executive service. And yes, that was 70 years ago. And trying to tell people about this for all this time, like many others like me, trying to explain what was happening to people, the enormous pressure was, you're crazy, this didn't happen, the government wouldn't do this, you're talking about the CIA, for God's sake.
Yeah, you're crazy, the government wouldn't do this. I get that. A lot. Now, all of a sudden, the people that's calling me that are starting to wake up a little, but the ones that's fully indoctrinated, they still call me crazy. But some people that was calling me crazy are trying to wake up, like it's a small form of coming to me and be like, yo, man, you was right about that shit you told me a couple years ago. Oh, you're just not catching on. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I try not to get mad or upset. I'd be like, okay, good you're catching on. Keep doing your research. And I just keep it rolling. But in my mind, I want to call this nigga the motherfucker.
And it really wasn't until December 23rd of 2024, what's that, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
That actually they released this. And this is a complete confession of what they did, who they did, how they did it, and talks about why they were doing the program, how it was started in conjunction with the Eli Lilly drug company in Switzerland, who donated tons of LSD to the CIA and also helped them develop other drugs, which made people, there's a list of 17 points, and they're in here, but one of them is to make people irrational, to make people lose the ability to think logically, all the things that you're seeing today, because you would look at this and say, okay, that was 70 years ago. Who cares about all these old people? Well, these old people are running the world right now, and it's a mess. And I wanted to bring this out and bring it to you because I know you care about this, and this gives us the platform to start talking about what's happened to people's minds, why all this craziness is going on, why judges can't tell men from women. It's all right out of the program from the 50s and 60s, and it gives the photographs of. So here, who founded it, what they did. I remember this man.
So tell me, this is the CIA staff photo of Sidney Gottlieb, who oversaw Project Artichoke and later the MK Ultra Behavior Control Program. So they would use all kinds of stuff, like what you said, you just described with the spinning wheel, but they would also use they had Eli Lilly producing LSD for them in huge quantities, right? And they would dose people with LSD against their knowledge, without their knowledge. And so some of the doctors pushed back but most of them were all on board for it. It was like, right out of the Nazi concentration camp type stuff. And so that's who was the guy you held up? What was that picture?
Oh yeah. Her name is Juliette Engel. I'm just finding out about her too. So I was like, you know what? Let me play this for the HHN special stories, and plus always, and plus talk about the fucking bitch ass CIA, because we already talked about all this shit before. My Fuck the Government podcasts and and all the other shit when I go ham on the CIA. So like, this is really nothing new. This is just another person that is coming out saying what we already knew. But for those that haven't heard about this before, this will probably be their first listen. So like they could probably look up Juliette Engel and a whole bunch of other MK Ultra slaves or Monarch slaves or Artichoke slaves or Project Paperclip members. All we got to do is just look up Project Paperclip, Project Monarch, MK Ultra, and shit. All the shit that was fucking with people's mind and shit. It's like they was really trying to break a motherfucker mentally. And like the thing about it is, most of it worked. Most of it fucking worked, because look at where we at now. And plus when they found a way to motherfucking put it through waves and frequencies and brainwash it through the television, you don't even gotta go to the motherfucking lab. All you gotta do is just watch a TV or watch a cell phone and your ass is done.
Who was that
guy? This is George Hunter White, and he was sort of a master handler of mine personally. So I was exposed to him constantly for about 11 years. And every
It's all good, bro. Having fun. I'm the only one here loving America. Look, America is great. It's just the people that's in it that's fucking it up. America could be wonderful if there was no poison in the food and the water and the air, and the CDC wasn't making diseases to kill motherfuckers. America would be great. If there was no systemic racism and classism and a whole bunch of other isms, this world would be great. Fuck the country, the world. You know what I'm saying? You know, and plus, shit, dog, ain't nothing wrong with treating yourself to a little celebration. Sure, you can celebrate just by being alive on the 4th. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. And by the way, thanks for introducing me to Look Out for Charlie. Oh, yeah, Look Out for Charlie is the shit. That channel was revolutionary like a motherfucker. I put that channel up there in the category of Truth Virus, and that thing ain't got rid of Truth Virus channel. But he'll be back. He'll be back with Truth Virus 19 or 20 because like he made so many fucking channels because the powers that be the powers that shouldn't be keep get rid of the shit. But yeah, like Look Out for Charlie. I never met no one that did audio forensics before. And I thought that shit was just phenomenal. And plus, it just like debunks everything. Ain't no motherfucker hearing no ghosts or seeing ghosts and shit. Y'all being fucked with. That's what I love about Look Out for Charlie. He letting you know, nigga, ain't no spirits in your motherfucking house. Ain't no monsters in your crib, nigga.
Annex every place the CIA. When he was in charge of setting up.
Worry about them.
Oh, we gotta add.
Packages. Wouldn't it be great if you could?
When he was in charge of setting up, they called them the safe houses. So all the program sites were set up at hospitals, universities, institutes, private
hospitals, universities, institutes. I'm talking about MK Ultra programs in your hospitals, in your schools, and other institutes. Nigga, that is fucking diabolical. We call that hidden in plain sight. So like these hospitals, it's confusing for a reason. All these rooms and hallways lead your ass to a fucking basement where motherfuckers is being experimented on. This shit fucking crazy.
Clinics, religious retreats, they would just rent a building. So often the people didn't even know they were there. They paid a ton of money and they did what they wanted to do.
So like here's one. The Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, Canada was the site of MK Ultra experiments in the 50s and 60s.
Didn't Kamala go there? That's what they say.
Yeah, well, probably. I mean, you take the people that make no sense and are moved to the top. How did she get to be a presidential candidate with not one vote, winning a single?
Exactly. Kamala. How did this bitch end up vice president and nobody wanted to vote for this hoe? They just propped that bitch up like, here you go.
Election.
Like Ford did, the way Ford did, because he's part of that program as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Ford was not his real name.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was in Gate, by the way, Julie. Did you ever do my friend Emma's podcast? Is that why you look familiar, Emma?
Oh, yes.
So I probably know you from that. Yeah. And
yes.
So I forgot about this until I started seeing these because I was looking for UFO stuff. That's how I found all this.
So, well, communicating with UFOs was part of what they were having.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It shows.
What?
Oh,
So
wow.
tell me about that.
Well, when I was about 7, I was living in California, and I would be taken to a beach south of Tijuana called Rosarita Beach. And down there is the Autonomous University of Mexico. And a group of kids, we'd be naked for weeks, running around like savages. And every night there would be some kind of ritual going on led by the senator. And sometimes the governor.
Wow. A whole bunch of kids running around naked for weeks. That shit is fucking diabolical. And she just said a senator pops up and what?
Governor of California was down there as well. And the goal was to sacrifice. So they sacrificed kids from the orphanages. I understand they didn't sacrifice me because I was a bloodline child. I was part of the family. And we'd stand on the beach at night and start seeing UFOs approaching us. And everybody was on drugs, and it wasn't just LSD. They developed all kinds of drugs to affect people's minds. But yeah, there was communication. It felt that way. Was that true? I was a naked, half-starved 7-year-old child. My hair got so full of sand they had to shave it off. But yeah, that's what they were doing, and it was all about moving the energetic body. And they had a real copy of Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
And that's something you cannot get in this country. Even in Germany, you can't get it in German or English. And the person that translated it in the 1930s from German to English was Alan McGregor Cranston, who later became a U.S. Senator.
Oh, yes. Alan Cranston.
He was the one that took us kids down to Mexico and would have us do these rituals, and he was using the real Mein Kampf. He had it.
And so this just came out December 23rd, 2024.
I didn't know that at all. I just yapping about it. I was on Rogan yapping about this.
And how come it comes out on the Jimmy Dore show? How come it hasn't come out on a bigger show? I don't understand. Has this come out on any other show? Kurt, have you heard it a bit?
Maybe it was on Emma's show, or I didn't see an episode, but this is the first time hearing about it.
I did it on Emma's show, and I've done it on other shows and other networks. But no, this it's the worst possible time to bring it out.
So we showed. I think Colonel McGregor tweeted out something, right?
About
Yes,
what
that was-
happened under Disney.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, so we showed that on our show, and
Lord of the Flies disturbed the fuck out of me. When I first saw that movie a long time ago, I was I think I was a teenager when I first saw that shit. Shit disturbed the fuck out of me. I was like, nigga, I can't watch all this shit. And then I watched it again as an adult. I was like, man, this movie is crazy cold. It's a great movie, but like at the same time, the shit was still disturbing. It just took me back. I was like, duh, Lord of the Flies.
YouTube demonetized that video.
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't let us.
Right.
Yes. So let me just read a little bit from this. This is the newly released December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas last year. So let me read you a little bit of it to give you a flavor of what she's talking about. It says, today the National Security Archive and ProQuest celebrate the publication of a new scholarly document collection many years in the making on the shocking secret history of the CIA's mind control research program. The new collection, CIA and the Behavioral Sciences Mind Control.
Oh, yeah, and going back to my HHN special stories, you wonder why JFK said that I'm going to shatter the CIA and throw them bitches to the fucking wind. Because of this shit.
Drug experiment.
And a whole bunch of other shit. It ain't just this, a whole bunch of other shit too, you know, because we covered that in the video. But definitely, if JFK found out about this shit, because you already found out about what the motherfucking the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to motherfucking do to its own citizens. So him probably seeing this shit, they like, nigga, I'm going to destroy the CIA.
And MK Ultra brings together more than 1,200 essential records on one of the most infamous and abusive programs in CIA history. Under the code names that included MK Ultra, Bluebird, and Artichoke, the CIA conducted terrifying experiments using drugs, hypnosis, isolation, sensory deprivation, and other extreme techniques on human subjects, often U.S. citizens who frequently had no idea what was being done to them or that they were part of a CIA test. Today's announcement comes 50 years after the New York Times investigation by Seymour Hersh touched off probes that would bring MK Ultra abuses to light. The new collection also comes 70 years since U.S. pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly and Company first developed the process to streamline the manufacture of LSD in late 1954, becoming the CIA's chief supplier of the new discovered psychoactive chemical, Central, to many of the agency's behavioral control efforts. Highlights of the new MK Ultra collection include a DCI-approved plan in 1950 for the establishment of interrogation teams that would utilize the polygraph, drugs, and hypnotism to obtain the greatest results in interrogation techniques. In 1951 memo that captures the meeting between CIA and foreign intelligence officials about mind control research and their shared interest in the concept of individual mind control. A 1952 entry from the daily calendar of George White, a federal narcotics agent who ran a safe house where the CIA tested drugs like LSD and performed other experiments on unwitting Americans. A 1952 report on the successful use of artichoke interrogation methods that combine the use of narcosis and hypnosis to induce regression and later amnesia on Russian agents suspected of being doubled. Now, if you talk to Sirhan, he doesn't remember anything about the shooting RFK, right? Am I right? Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong about that. The 1960s, so that sounds like that. They learned how to give people amnesia.
It's just the tip of the iceberg because it says monarch in here, though.
So yes.
Damn, they learn how to give people amnesia. That is wild. That's fucking wild. That is why some people say that they forget shit and they end up, let's just say, traveling and they go back to an area and they end up remembering every fucking thing about the area, but they know that they ain't been there in the mind that they have now, but they've been there in their original mind before it got erased and shit. And then, like, don't get me started on the reincarnation cycle and shit. You learn all this shit, then you die and lose all your memories and come back and do all this shit again. This shit is some bullshit. These motherfuckers are playing God. Well, even though we are gods, but like these motherfuckers are really trying to play God. But I don't even think I can use that in any form of context because I don't believe in none of that shit. But when it comes to the concept of you are gods and we are made in an image or whatever, then something got to be up there. But, you know, my motto is whoever is up there is catching these hands because we live in a world full of pain and suffering. And you let these motherfuckers do this shit. So I'll go focus great mother, great father, entities, HP Lovecraft, then Eldritch motherfuckers. They all catching these hands.
That's a 1956 memo in which MK Ultra chief Sidney Gottlieb signs off a project that would evaluate the effects of large doses of LSD-25 in normal human volunteers on federal prisoners in Atlanta. A 1963 report from the CIA's Inspector General, which led CIA leadership to re-examine the use of unwitting Americans in their covert drug testing program, and the 1983 deposition of MK Ultra chief Sidney Gottlieb in a civil case brought by Velma Val Orlico, a victim of CIA-sponsored projects conducted by Dr. Ewan Cameron and Allen at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, which is what I just showed you. The challenges facing this documentation project were considerable as CIA Director Richard Helms and longtime MK Ultra chief Sidney Gottlieb destroyed most of the original project records in 1973. It's a story about secrecy, perhaps the most infamous cover-up in the CIA agency. It is also near total impunity at the institutional and individual levels for countless abuses committed across decades, kind of like Dr. Fauci is today. Not during interrogations of enemy agents or in wartime situations, but during ordinary medical treatments inside prison hospitals, addiction clinics, and juvenile detention facilities, and in many cases led by top.
And right now we are seeing motherfucking ads on YouTube saying, was you in a juvenile facility and you've been assaulted? Well, you can sue a motherfucker down. That's a cover up and like, yo, you try to MK Ultra a motherfucker and the shit didn't work. The motherfucker snitching on us.
Figures in the field of the behavioral sciences. Despite the agency's efforts to erase this hidden history, the documents that survived this purge and that have been gathered together here present a compelling and unsettling narrative of the CIA's decades-long effort to discover and test ways to erase and reprogram the human mind. Wow. So,
Like the Dalai Lama, a little kid they take and they repattern him to think he's a guy that's 1,000 years old. You know how they do? The CIA loves the Dalai Lama, and so did Hitler.
so
Yeah, the artichoke is because that's what the inside of your mind looks like.
Yeah, I see that ad all the time. I guess.
So they say. Let me ask you. They say that that they stopped this MK Ultra stuff in 1973. So why would I believe that they did that? Do you believe that they did that?
Oh no, not at all. It's gotten increasingly sophisticated. And there's a note from one of them to another of them calling a meeting saying we've got to stop abusing Americans. You know, some of them are gonna survive and they're gonna sue us. And
What I say, and I didn't even watch all this shit. Some of them are gonna survive that shit. That shit did work, nigga. They're not stitching on it. Sue their ass.
they didn't have that. So the solution about that time was not to stop, but to start importing foreign children. And that's when the foreign children started pouring across the borders, and they decided that it would be all right as long as they were all called Mexicans. And that's exactly what happened in the last few years. 300,000 children, and they're like, oh, they're all Mexicans.
And they're lost, right? They can't find
children. Yeah, they can't find them, and they don't feel that they should have to look for them because they're Mexicans.
Yeah, 300,000. Oh yeah, and counting the missing children that's over here in America. Shit. I don't give a fuck what number they put out there. The number is probably a little higher. Fuck, not a little higher. It's a lot higher. 300,000 shit. I'm gonna say close to 1 million, because we got to factor in all the motherfuckers that popped up, all the adults that was popping up. So I was like, okay, yeah, it's definitely a lot more.
Yeah.
And that comes from the MK Ultra decision in the 60s to bring them into the country and to call them Mexicans.
Well, how about sanctuary cities were invented by Reagan, and he was deep in that. So,
Yes.
some sanctuary. Did you ever get to meet Dr. Green, who is Joseph Mengele that we brought over?
Yes, I did. There was always a Dr. Green. There was, in every annex, there was a Dr. Green, a Dr. White. We were taken care of by nanny blacks. The nanny blacks were men dressed up like nuns. They were obviously gay. I mean, but yes, I met the top Dr. Green. That must have been Bengala. They all had accents. Dr. Greens all had accents.
Can I ask a question, though, real quick? I was in GATE, which is Gifted and Talented Education, which you may have heard of. So I don't remember any of it. I have no idea what we did in that. I remember a pink drink, and that's all I got. Juliette, any idea what that is?
It's probably some.
That shit may sound like a joke, but that shit is real as hell. If you would have said adrenochrome, it would have still meant the same shit.
Version of this. I mean, I was in it for weeks at a time. Many people are not. They're in it for a course or a test, or they're testing something, or they're trying something out. But I mean, the trauma's there. So I also wanted to say.
Ding, 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 ding. She said trauma. What I say what the 3 forms of mind control are? I'm gonna say it one more time just in case y'all forgot. The 3 forms of mind control is repetition, trauma, and symbolism.
Is that when you do start to remember, because the way you've been programmed is that you can't remember it. They built a whole cadre of drugs and techniques for erasing memories. And when I was 30 years old, started to remember, I could remember nothing. Couldn't remember my mother, my father, my family, nothing. But the thing is, when you do start to remember, they very cleverly programmed you with a suicide program.
Woo, now that's deep.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and
Suicide program. So as soon as
Yeah, now that's a key point. They say once you start to remember, they activate the suicide program or self-deletion, man. But fuck all that shit, man. Suicide. I'm saying it, man. I don't give a fuck. Shouts out to the lovely Crystal. How you doing? Trauma-based mind control. Yep.
Omega, yeah.
Yeah, or the Freedom Train, it's got several variations. And that comes at you so hard and so fast that people are starting to commit suicide before they even know what's going on. So therapists are coming in and we're doing sessions to say, okay, people have to take control of this coming at them. I tell them to bring it like a thread through an eye of a needle. Don't let the whole mass come at you, or you're going to be in Omega or on the Freedom Train.
I mean, this document you sent me is mind-blowing. I read it. And let me just read a little bit more. I hope that I'm not being rude by reading this while you're here, but it says, while many of the MK Ultra projects were conducted in hospitals, laboratories, or other institutional settings like universities, others were carried out in clandestine CIA safe houses staffed not by doctors or clinicians, but by hard-nosed federal narcotic agents like George Hunter White, that's that guy right there. Under the direction of Gottlieb, White adopted the persona of a bohemian artist named Morgan Hall to lure unsuspecting victims to his pad, where he and his CIA collaborators secretly experimented on them and recorded their behavior. An OSS veteran who had worked on truth drug development for the Army in World War II, White surreptitiously dosed many of his victims with LSD, a drug that the CIA had in abundance, thanks to Eli Lilly, which had developed the capacity to produce the drug in tonnage quantities and had agreed to become the agency supplier. Gottlieb, his deputy Robert Westbrook, and CIA psychologist John Gittinger are among the CIA officials who frequently visited White's safe houses. Did any of these people go to prison for this?
No.
No, they went on to lead us.
That's right. They're running the country now.
Yeah.
And I was there in a lot of these parties as a child because they used the children to pass out the LSD and to get these guys naked and photographed and compromised. So that's
Wow. They say they use the children to pass out the motherfucking drugs to get them compromised. God damn.
that's what they were using kids like me for
So
at that
what?
time.
And so what was so? Do you mind if I ask you, like, what was the? So your father sold you into this. So he got paid from the CIA to give you over to this group of people doing this stuff.
Yes,
And so was he just like evil, or was he also mind controlled?
I don't know. Yeah, I was with my family half of the time and in the program the other half of the time. So I was supposed to learn how to be a normal human being half the time and then become some kind of artichoke agent the other half of the time. And
That's a traumatizing fucking experience.
I am 100% sure that my mother was in the program and her brother, who founded the CIA, one of the top agents that started the CIA from Arlington Hall, he was definitely in the program.
And so,
Damn.
when did you realize that this had happened to you? How old were you?
10 was the first time I ran away and tried telling people about what the NSA was doing and discovered that no one in 1959 had ever heard of the NSA.
Yeah.
I got
Damn. No one in 1959 ever heard of the NSA. Yeah, dog. You gotta say, oh my God. Just putting yourself in the shoes of the times. God damn, dog. Man, that's a fucked up experience.
And finally, I just escaped at the age of 17 because if I didn't get away then and get off and escape and have my own life, then I was going to be forever a horror of the CIA. And I wanted out. So I got out and then promptly forgot everything. Couldn't remember anything.
Really?
Nothing.
I got a
Still
good memory, Jimmy, and I don't remember nothing about that. My memory is crazy, and I don't remember that at all. I mean, maybe I don't want to, honestly.
Well, you probably don't. It was probably horrible.
I don't know.
So at the center of all of it was Sidney Gottlieb, the head of the technical service staff of the CIA's chemical division and later director of the technical services division. He was the CIA's chief poison maker, according to Kinzer, whose book, Poisoner in Chief, Sidney Gottlieb and the CIA Search for Mind Control, that was released in 2019, is the definitive work on the mercurial chemist. From his position deep inside the CIA's secret corridors, Gottlieb led the agency's decades-long effort to find ways to use drugs, hypnosis, and other extreme methods to control human behavior, and, it was hoped, turn them into usable tools for intelligence agencies and policymakers. So it makes me think about that guy who shot at Trump and Mueller. It makes me
Parents were behavioral modification therapists. What does that tell you?
Yeah, so it makes me think of that. It makes me think of the guy who shot those two Israelis outside at the museum, and it makes me think of that guy with the Molotov cocktails, so waiting around for the cops to come arrest him.
I killed my
Fuck.
plants.
Oh, bummer. What kind of plants?
Some kind of
Makes me think of that guy with the Molotov cocktails, so waiting around for the cops to come arrest him.
Yeah, the guy who shot the president of Slovakia.
The guy who shot the president of
Yeah.
Slovakia.
I was told that this is proprietary technology. They used to call them bioprogrammed human robotoids, like Marilyn Monroe. They did this too. Remember, she passed messages between Giancana and Kennedy.
Yeah.
Well, that's because she's a programmed sex slave. Yeah, that's why they look like that. That's why they got the leopard print and the blonde hair.
That's why.
And that's why they were sneaking that bitch under the White House tunnels. Nigga, the powers that shouldn't be was like, this nigga JFK is sneaking bitches under the White House tunnels. He's fucking a 19-year-old intern. He talking about he want to shut down the FBI and CIA. And he don't want to go to war. And he's shaking hands with Dr. Martin Luther King. We about to murk this nigga.
Go ahead.
It is. It's totally rotten, and they're in control now. And there was and I was going to say that Gottlieb's boss was Alan Dulles and John Foster Dulles. It was the Dulles brothers, and they had connected with Eli Lilly because they were in Switzerland during the war. And later, worked with Eli Lilly.
Bro.
Oh!
About getting the population on a drug to make them think illogically and make Americans stupid.
You know, they first the first use that they tried to.
And they be like, they came out with the commercials. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
Oh, Prozac, I'm pretty sure, was as a weight loss drug. And then they figured out that it can have psychotropic effects, and that's much easier to get approved. So that's why they just switched it over to that. Did you ever hear about that, Juliette?
Yes, and it was the research was based on what they knew from LSD. So there's some similarities to LSD can relieve depression.
Yeah, and so it turns out Tom Cruise was right about Prozac and the SS.
He's on that program. He flew the missions to Iran in that movie 3 years ago. Tom Cruise Mapather III is from a bloodline family. And correct me if I'm wrong, Juliette, but the whole thing of being bloodline means you can dissociate easier than other people. Is that the whole key to it?
I think that if you, I didn't know this until I traced my ancestry back, but it does go to the Plantagenets and the Capets.
Yeah.
It goes to the Rurik, the first royal family of Russia. So there's definitely bloodlines. And that popped up when I turned in my DNA for ancestry. I got a circle saying, if you're in this family, here's your ancestors. And so that's what that is. And they assumed that those people were on the top because they had special abilities. And very often it was assumed they could see into the stars, they could open gates, they could.
So this is real, right? I mean, this is way crazier than I could have imagined, right? So
Much worse.
So what I say
It's
here,
worse than you can imagine.
so what I say at the show is, if you can think it, the CIA has a plan for it.
You couldn't think.
I couldn't even think this stuff. And
I have a good friend of mine. Yeah, a person that you all know who she has no memories before the age of 15.
Yeah.
Is that normal? I don't think it is.
and she's famous, right?
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
So I want to show you this. So this guy right here, Dr. Charles Geschichter, was a professor of pathology at Georgetown University and the head of the Geschichter Fund for Medical Research, a foundation through which the CIA funded a variety of drug and behavior control research and experiments under the MK Ultra and related programs. That's him. And this is the thing that he got built at Georgetown. At the urging of Dr. Geschichter, the CIA provided $375,000 toward the construction of a new medical facility at Georgetown University Hospital. In return, Geschichter agreed to let the CIA use 1/6 of the new Gorman Annex as its hospital safe house, and to provide human patients and volunteers for experimental use.
Yeah, I mean, it's
How are there not movies made about? How are there not?
there are. There's a ton of movies.
And fuck the bullshit. There's a ton of movies about it. And two, why the fuck there is no revolution happening? Like real shit. Motherfuckers like, yeah, nigga, we gonna bring this shit out. And the motherfuckers that did survive, they old age and they ain't even gonna be capable of fighting. Well, I'll fight for each and every one of y'all motherfuckers. Young, old, from the past to the future. If I gotta pull a blade from a portal and open up a fucking parallel dimension, I'll save y'all too. From your corrupt government. And fuck the Jimadar. Fuck the Dominion.
Blink Twice just came out, which is Lisa Bonet's daughter directed it, and they kind of tell you about it. I wrote to one of the writers on Instagram because I'm like, well, you know about Monarch? Because they see you can use shame as like a safe to keep secrets. You know, people don't want to talk about this stuff
Right.
because it's uncomfortable.
Right.
Well, that's a good way to hide your secrets. So they turn people into human iPhones. You can store stuff in them. You can send messages. You can jerk off on them. That was the first thing they made.
Pause. But at the end of the day, it goes back to what Yuval Noah Harari said. Look him up. He talking about humans are hackable animals. So, you know, all this shit.
And
True.
now the transhuman people, they're going to make us into iPhones. That's the plan.
Yeah, got the graphene in our veins.
And going back to Aaron Russo's last video where he was talking to one of the Rockefellers, he was like, man, y'all got all this money and power. They got like, what's the end goal? He was like, to get everybody chipped.
Through all kinds of injections, and we're assembling batteries.
Oh, the list of drugs that they figured out what can make you do what. But guess what they told Monarch people never to do? Smoke marijuana, because it somehow broke down. It broke like amnesiac barriers in some way. So think about why weed was illegal for some mysterious reason. This is a real big thing.
Yeah, weed was illegal because the Mexicans was getting a whole bunch of money off of it, and America was like, what the fuck? I want in on that shit. That's one story. But the other shit is it really fucking heals you. It breaks down all the bullshit. And me personally, it enhances my meditation sessions. I get there faster than usual. You know what I'm saying? Without the weed. But I mean, like with the weed, I get to where I need to be faster when it comes to the meditation sessions, you know, like that without. But like at the end of the day, the LSD is a gate opener, DMT is a gate opener. It just depends on how you use it. Ecstasy is a gate opener, you know what I'm saying? You know, but shit. Depends on how you use it, but I smoke weed every day.
And I was told, yeah.
I never smoked marijuana. I always wondered why.
Oh,
I was told not to.
No, it'll screw them. So the Mormons, so you know, everybody goes Israel, and they do it, but the Mormons, there are a lot of feds are Mormons, and the Mormons, what they do,
Vigilante. I'm gonna check them out now. Thank you for putting me up on something. You know what? Hold on, wait a minute. You know what? I might be subscribed to them unknowingly because like there was a lot of people that was sending me channels and shit, and I go to it. I'm like, all right, let me check it out, and I go to it. I'm like, holy shit, I'm subscribed to them. So I realized those moments I probably saw one video and I loved it and I subscribed and I never went back to it again because I probably didn't get a notification for it. So, but I kind of got a feeling I probably subscribed to it, but if not, I'm gonna check it out because the hackable animal shit, yeah, there's a motherfucker. Like Yuval Noah Harari, that nigga's an evil bastard.
so okay. Let me just read this other part. Many other MK Ultra sub-projects were established through grants from false foundations funded by the CIA. One of these, the Geschecter Fund for Medical Research, run by Dr. Charles Geschecter, a professor of pathology, blah, 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 it steered millions of CIA dollars into research programs at Georgetown and other institutions. As part of the agreement, the CIA gained access to a medical safe house at the newly constructed Gorman Annex of Georgetown University Hospital, along with a ready supply of patients and students to use as subjects for MK Ultra experiments. Another prominent MK Ultra cutout foundation, the Human Ecology Society, was run by Cornell Medical Center neurologist Dr. Harold Wolf, who wrote an early study of communist brainwashing techniques for Allen Dulles, and later partnered with the CIA to develop a combination of drugs and sensory deprivation that could be used to erase the human mind. Among the most extreme MK Ultra projects funded through the Wolf Group were the infamous depatterning experiments conducted by Dr. D. Ewan Cameron at the Allen Memorial Institute, a psychiatric hospital at McGill University in Montreal. Cameron's methods combined induced sleep, electroshocks, and psychic driving, under which drugged subjects were psychologically tortured for weeks or months in an effort to reprogram their minds. These records also shed a light on an especially dark period in the history of the behavioral sciences, in which some of the top physicians in the field conducted research and experiments usually associated with the Nazi doctors who were tried at Nuremberg. While some medical professionals engaged by the CIA apparently struggled with the ethical issues raised by conducting harmful tests on unwitting human subjects, others were eager to participate in a program in which, according to one 1953 memo, said, no area of the human mind is to be left unexplored, just as CIA psychologists later oversaw the torture of prisoners at Guantanamo Bay and at CIA black sites during the first decades of the 21st century. Many of the doctors and clinicians recruited for MK Ultra work were leaders in the field whose participation boosted the prestige of the program and drew others into it. Scholars and researchers looking at the involvement of psychologists and other medical professionals in the horrific U.S. detention and interrogation programs must have been exposed in recent years will find parallels and historical antecedents throughout this collection. Wow.
The big pharma Harry Potter bullshit. Let me put it real simply.
Yeah.
They took a cult, because this is a lot older than MK Ultra, okay? We just have the Nazi version from all the Nazis we brought over here. But this goes back to Egypt. That's what all that pharaoh nonsense is. Those corrupt priests would inbreed royals. That's why Akhenaten looks like that. He's inbred as shit. So they would inbreed them for suggestibility. They'd tie up their day with bullshit about the afterlife. And this is the big secret they got, probably the Templars, all that, how to control the crowd. And it works. And it works really well because they're doing the same shit they did 20 years ago. And if you're not brainwashed, you should notice it. But you see how people don't?
Well,
You've got I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So you have basically inbred idiots leading agencies and this kind of thing, and I can tell you that's my family, very, very inbred, yeah, exactly what you said. And but the program that was put in 60, 70 years ago has really worn out. You know, it doesn't work anymore. The tasks that we were trained to do don't apply anymore, so it's sort of out of control.
Yep, they're popping off.
Like what?
Like popping off.
Yeah.
So what were some of the tasks that you were trained to do that don't work anymore?
Oh, well, I was trained as a Soviet agent. I was absolutely programmed to go to a specific place when I was 12, 13, 14, to go to a specific place in Moscow from Red Square to find my way into a basement of this old Soviet building, and then into that basement, into the next building, which was called Rostelecom, to where all the Soviet international communications were, and to sabotage it. Well, I did go to Russia. This was after I'd left the program. I'd been out of the program for 15 years. I was invited to go to Russia. I went. I didn't remember my childhood, but when I got to Russia, it was all familiar. And within 2 weeks.
What I say, you forget everything, but when you go back to the fucking area, everything comes back to you. And she said she went to a fucking Soviet building, went to the basement, led to an underground bunker to a Russian telecom area to sabotage some shit.
I was in the building, in the basement, into Rostelecom, asking around, you know, what, can I see the basement? And they took me to the basement. There was nothing there because it had all left 20 years ago. So there I was, programmed, trained, got there, did the mission, 30 years too late.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. And wound up doing something completely different with my training.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that the programming isn't as much like a lot of our other weapons programs. It's not as fail-safe as they claim. And so now they got to clean it up. And so think of all this UFO shit out there now of fake disclosure. It's amazing because as I started working on Jimmy's show and having to really look at current events, all of a sudden I got obsessed with this. And if you look at the reason for picking out people for Monarch, there's a list of things, and one of them is the ability to synthesize seemingly unrelated events, which is how I write jokes. So all of a sudden, there's all these dots that connect, and I've been obsessed about it. But I forgot I was in that. I forgot I was in GATE. It was called, sometimes called Gateway. We moved a lot. Sometimes called Gateway. Sometimes called Gifted and Talented Education. I was in it. My sister was in it. My brother, who's a lunatic now, was in it. I don't remember, and I asked all my friends who were in it what they did. Their stories are batshit. Zach Amico, who writes roast jokes, they had something on his head like in the beginning of Ghostbusters where they're doing it. Okay, my friend Brooke, they took all the kids to a dark room with a big hot air balloon basket, and they had to get in the basket, and then they had this big screen, and they played like they're flying over Italy. I don't even know what the hell to make of that. Probably remote viewing now that I think about it.
Remote viewing, yes, getting trained to actually do that.
Yeah, they got to break it to everybody this stuff's real because they've been screwing around with it, and it's leaking. It turns out it's real leaky.
It's leaky, and people who start to remember it are at risk of committing suicide, and that's the important reason for like me to come out and others. Like
I almost did do that. Barry Crimmins saved me.
There you go. There's the program, and I've had 3 people contact me this week and said they were rescued by neighbors or friends, and they don't even know why they were. But all of them were starting to remember, and that has to be controlled.
And so, Juliette, why do you think so? How did they get around ever holding anybody accountable for this?
Well, the president and the Senate and the senior executive service, senior executive service is full of these people, and they sit between the top, the executive service, the president and all the secretary of state, all those. Next level down is senior executive service, which is unaccountable, unelected officials that really have more power than any senator, any staff, and you can go on their website, on the senior executive service website, and they brag about controlling, that they have absolute control over 75 American federal agencies. These are people that you can't fire, you can't hire, you can't, when they retire, they get huge bonuses. They're not qualified for the jobs. They're just there to impose the program.
Yeah, the men in suits that Putin talked about, with the black suits and the blue ties, that's who it is. And this all sounds crazy, but then you realize it explains all this bewildering behavior of 180, because all your leaders went through it. And I heard Trump went through CIA is bad, but Jesuit programming? They made a little alliance back in the day when Dulles' son, I guess, became a priest or something.
And bam, the Jesuit program. Da-da-da. That's what Trump went through his motherfucking body control. Zionism, the Jesuits. Shit.
New World Order of the Rose. That's the full name of the program.
Yeah, I was in the Rosicrucian.
I was going to ask if you were Rosicrucian because that's the genetic bottleneck for recruiting, right? Where they make
Yes.
sure only certain people get scioned into the bloodline.
Yes, all
That's not-
my uncles, grandfather, everything were Rosicrucian.
Yeah.
And when I was a little kid, I was only allowed to have a Rosicrucian radio, which played Rosicrucian crap.
What? Tell
Stories.
me what Rosicrucian. What does that mean? What?
Above Freemasons. It's like Freemasons, but the ones above Freemasons. Freemasons is kind of like the jump level you get recruited up. They
Yeah.
get the Illuminati, and then you go to Rosicrucians if you're good.
And so, just does this have anything to do with what's that thing that Alex up in San Francisco, Kurt, that I got invited to? What Bohemian Grove?
Yes, as a matter of fact, they did quite a bit of programming. You know how Kanye's great? I don't know if he went there, but Britney did. You know, Britney Spears isn't doing too good.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stories about what they did to her, Bohemian Grove. These people are all telling their story now. They're all ratting
Yeah,
out.
she says it.
What? Tell me about that,
I
Juliette.
didn't know that.
Go ahead, Juliette.
Oh, I was just going to say that she's often given interviews about satanic ritual abuse, and that she's a slave, and that she can't get away, and she's controlled, and it's all absolutely true. I believe every word she says. And there's a number of people like that. They are. Oh, and if I hadn't escaped and run away 3 states away, I'd have been in that situation.
And so did you ever? So has anyone ever launched a lawsuit where we have discoveries?
Yes.
So let me, Juliette, please tell me about it.
Well, they've just done it in Canada on the basis of these documents coming out, and there's another organization in the States, but I'm not going to mention their names because they're getting ready to do a lawsuit. I figure I'm too old for a lawsuit. I'll give my information, but I've written a book about this called Sparky Surviving Sex Magic, about being a child in this world. And Kurt, if you want to start remembering, you might want to read my book.
I'm getting upset because I don't. I'm like, the more I'm thinking about it, the more upset I'm getting. And I do not, maybe nothing happened, but I don't
You don't
remember.
want to remember because it was terrible. And you just have to get a hold of it and not get on that suicide train.
Well, I've been off that for quite some time, but I remember the feeling, and it didn't feel like I was afraid to do it. It felt like that's the only option I got.
Oh, it is. You're programmed to believe I was going to get on the freedom train, and then all these awful visions and everything would go away.
If Barry hadn't called, yeah, me too.
So, I mean, this is for someone like me, it's overwhelming, right? To hear you and Kurt talk about this stuff.
I've been blathering about it for a while to everybody I talk. When I meet CIA people at Rogan's club, you know, because he has them on, I blurt out Monarch right in their face because I want to see what they'll do. It's very interesting. I just want to see the reaction when I mention it. If they act like I'm crazy or they get real weird, and I get both reactions. These pricks are the most evil Nazis that ever lived, and it's not just the names in there. George H.W. Bush, you know he's the nice one. I used to make a joke that I bet Dick Cheney used to hunt him naked through the woods. As a joke. I think that happened to him.
It probably
So,
happened.
I mean, this document. So then, if you can see over my shoulder, it's right here. It says, "Here's document 1," and then it goes. There's like I think 18 or 19 documents, and like this first one is U.S. Central Intelligence Agency Interrogation Research Section to Chief Security Branch establishing a security validation team, and this was from September 1949, and it says after returning from an overseas
I'll
trip,
check it out.
the CIA's Morris Allen summarizes his recommendations for the establishment of, quote, security validation teams in the United States and abroad that would combine the use of drugs, hypnosis, and the polygraph to perform a variety of intelligence functions, including the screening of agency personnel and informants, the interrogation of suspected enemy agents, the processing of any loyalty cases that might arise, and the possible use of operational hypnosis. The teams would also gather information about the interrogation techniques and special operational procedures being utilized by Russia and Russian dom. So now everything, like, you know, from Sirhan to Lee Harvey Oswald to
Andrew Jackson. Try Andrew Jackson.
what do you mean? What? No.
The first guy tried to. Somebody may have said this in some English channel. They go, "Why would you shoot a president? They're only there 48 years." That's a great point. Why would you? Well, you wouldn't unless you're a psychopath oligarch. Andrew Jackson, that far back, who didn't want a central bank in America, a guy tried to shoot him and he beat him up. And he always thought it was a conspiracy by Calhoun against him. Would you look into who's been doing this? This is old technology. The Nazis just got something like a folk remedy, and then that's what Eli Lilly parted. They big farmed the oldest. That's what magic is. They hypnotize you with bullshit. That's magic, everyone. They figured out how to big pharma it, and they did it to America.
So, well,
Magic is evil.
So like if I'm going to see David Blaine and at the Win. Is that evil or is that just fun?
Don't take a drink from him.
No, I wouldn't take a drink, but seriously, that's just fun, right?
Yeah, well, I guess it's what the fruits of your labors produce is how you know if it's good or bad.
Okay.
So all these supposed good people that people like to run the government, what has been the fruits of their labor? Does it look like it's good? That's how you know.
So I'll just read this one last one. Document 2. Sheffield Edwards requested that the DCI Roscoe Hillencotter approve plans for Project Bluebird, sending it directly to the DCI rather than through the normal approval process due to, quote, the extreme sensitivity of this project and its covert nature, end quote. The memo indicates broad agreement among CIA offices, quote, for the immediate establishment of interrogation teams for the operational support of OSD, the Office of Special Operations, OSO, and OPC, the Office of Policy Coordination Activities, referring to the groups responsible.
And they talk about the OSO. You made me think about the Venture Brothers, bro. They was in, I think, the OSI. Don't talk about the high elite motherfuckers. Brock Sampson and his crew. It was either the OSS or the OSI. Go Team Venture.
In managing covert operations, the teams would utilize the polygraph, drugs, and hypnotism to attain the greatest results in interrogation techniques, noting that there is considerable interest in the field of hypnotism across CIA offices. The idea of Bluebird would be to bring all such interests within the purview and control of a single
OSI.
The project envisions interrogation teams utilizing the cover of polygraph interrogation to determine the bona fides of high potential defectors and agents, and also for the collection of incidental intelligence from such projects. Each team would consist of a psychiatrist, a polygraph technician, and a hypnotist. An office would be established in Washington to serve as cover for training, experimentation, and indoctrination of psychiatrists in the use of drugs.
And speaking of, man, yo, that show is on point. Dog, is it wrong to be a fan of the Monarch? And speaking of Monarch, the Monarch program. Man, that show was on point. They even had the cloning talk. Those kids, the Venture Brothers were fucking clones. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert if y'all motherfucker watch the Venture Brothers. But spoiler alert, the kids are fucking clones. That shit is fucking crazy. Bro, that show is the shit.
When not deployed abroad, the doctors would be used for defensive training of covert personnel study and experimentation in the application of these techniques. Wow.
And Bluebird is where they brought in children. That's where I started Project Bluebird. It was a division of Monarch. It was the youngest children.
Yeah, Project Bluebird was the Monarch. Project Blue Book. What's Project Blue Book? I think it was some shit with some technology or some shit. And Project Paperclip was bringing the Nazi scientists. Oh, the Manhattan Project was them fucking with technology and doing some shit, fucked up some shit. Look up all these motherfucking shits.
I mean, they taught us to pass a polygraph and to lie and to interrogating agents.
Salute.
If you want to learn to protect your wealth and retirement from inflation, stop scrolling. For years, everyone.
Interrogating agents.
So I lied. Here's one more. This is from 1959.
Yeah, the motherfucking father of the dog. This is why I fucks with the Monarch because Daddy Venture, dog. That nigga's an asshole. That nigga's a fucking asshole, bro. But he got Brock Sampson. So, yo, you could be the dumbest nigga on the fucking planet, the stupidest nigga on the planet, or Venture. That nigga got Brock Sampson. The only way to stop Brock Sampson is you gotta have that big beefy bitch that motherfucking Brock Sampson was drooling over. He was like, "You are a real woman." He was like, "I want to be a part of you," or some shit like that. She was like, "You." I think she called that nigga Heracles or some shit. She was like, "I'm gonna break you and put you under my wheel." Yeah, and Monarch Adventure are brothers. Spoiler alert. Y'all find that out like later on in the seasons though. But like the first like 2 or 3 seasons, this is fucking just like great fucking television. But like then they start getting plot heavy. They start really diving into the plot. And you know, some people didn't like it. I loved it because like, you know, because it's just a whole bunch of crazy shenanigans going on. Now we getting off into who these motherfuckers really are. You know what I'm saying? And they motherfucking fathers, nigga. He's an asshole. That motherfucker don't give a shit either. But he have a level of coolness when he don't give a fuck. On a goddamn island.
This is from the report of a special
You
meeting.
know what's real funny is when they all got broke and they had to budget their money. That shit was fucking funny. That shit was fucking funny. And they showed the money on the top of the screen and shit. It was like, yeah, nigga, like every time you fuck up, nigga, you lose.
Held in, and that wherever it was held is deleted on June 1st, 1959. In the search for the Manchurian candidate, Mark cites this fascinating account of an informal get-together between representatives of the U.S., British, and Canadian intelligence services in which all matters related to the influence or control of the minds of individuals were discussed. The conversation among the Allied intelligence services ranged from the specific subject of means for extracting information to the broadest aspects of psychological warfare and propaganda. One foreign intelligence official at first seemed skeptical about the idea of individual mind control and was more interested in programs that would research the psychological factors causing the human mind to accept certain political beliefs and aimed at determining means for combating communism.
Yeah, and that's crazy. For motherfucker that's motherfucking like brainwashed on the political shit, then like going back to what I said before, it was like there was motherfuckers losing friends over a nigga voting for Trump or fucking Biden. I'm gonna never forget how motherfuckers was on that train. Like, whoa, that's some mind control shit. Fuck both of those presidents. But no, niggas was losing friendships and family ships, relationships. Motherfucker bitch was like, leave your husband. Bitches was like, leave your husband if he vote for Trump. Or break up with your boyfriend if he vote for Trump. Nigga, what type of shit is that? MKUltra.
Selling democracy and preventing the penetration of communism into trade unions. However, after lengthy discussions, he became quite enthusiastic about research into individual mind control, according to the meeting notes. All present agreed that there has been no conclusive evidence, either from reports on Soviet activities or in Western research, to indicate that new or revolutionary progress has been made in this field, but full investigation of the Soviet cases was essential, and basic research in the field is most important because of the importance of this matter in connection with Cold War operations. Even though no radical discoveries are made, even small gains in knowledge will justify the effort expended. Since the group had only discussed pure research and not the offensive use of mind control techniques, the author of the memo recommends that the United States strike a clear separation between the intelligence and the research aspects of the project when dealing with Allied intelligence. So, I mean, this goes on, and this was released in just last December, and nobody's talking about it. And I mean, you would think, have you been on, I saw someone was on Patrick Bet-David's show, the PBD. Juliette, are you familiar with that show? Have you been on there? Or are you familiar with?
I haven't, but I'd be glad to do it. I don't know Patrick.
Oh, okay. I'm just shocked that I have never heard of this. This came out last December, and the extent of this information. And of course, this is an end. And as you say, these people that went through these programs are now in charge of running stuff. They're the deep state. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they're running the country. They are the deep state, and they are the executive level of government. They're the top of Hollywood. They're the top of the corporations. Our airplanes are falling apart because they hire these company directors who don't give a damn about flying our airplanes. They're just there occupying the slot.
So the guy at the Federal Reserve that doesn't know why we have to borrow money that we print. Remember how bizarre it was?
Yeah.
The Supreme Court justice who doesn't know the difference between a man and a woman.
Oh, the one that prosecuted the guy from the Pizzagate shooting. I thought they let him off, but no, he did 4 years, and he was judged by Judge Ketanji Brown, who went on to the Supreme Court. Yeah.
No
Doesn't know what
kidding.
I
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Stacey Plaskett from the Virgin Islands, home of Paying Epstein. All these people. The whole thing they did a while ago. Oh, King Charles' creepy-ass portrait where it looks like he's in front of a hamburger meat.
Yeah.
And he's got a monarch butterfly on his shoulder. Discovery.
Well, like anybody can have a monarch butterfly on their shoulder, but all hell the monarch. But anyway, that's the end of that. I think it's like maybe like 1 minute left, but we're gonna get off into a couple tracks and we're gonna get up out of here. I was here way too long, man. But like I had to really play the majority of that video so like everybody can get the gist of what's really going on. But like it was only like 1 minute left on that video. You know, it wasn't gonna really say nothing else. I don't think so. But yeah. The mighty monarch. Dr. Girlfriend with the motherfucking cigarette voice. Dr. Girlfriend. I don't give a fuck how bad the bitch look in that universe. I'm not getting with you, bitch. You sound like a dude. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Spoiler alert. But yeah, man, everybody get up out of here. We're gonna play a track.
Let me hit you with this laid back hit. Reminisce about the time while I'm rolling the split. Spending time with a chick, yeah, I hopped in the whip. Mesmerized while she drive as I stare at her tits. I love the suspense that the story commits. Making love in the woods, yeah, the shit was intense. If it's same private property, we hop in the fence. She adventurous, yo, I ain't stopping the chick. We fucking in the labs by the satellite chips. Then I took it to the roof by the satellite dish. Then we jumped off the roof, parachute to the coop. Then we get away car with a trunk full of loot. Made it to the hideout, we avoided the troops. Then the girl got low, blew me like a flute. Their job well done, give her a salute. Kick back and relax, sipping gin and the juice. Revolutionary opportunists, who us? Part 2. Revolutionary opportunists. Let me hit you with this laid back tune. Like the greatest rooms, about to go straight to the moon. We was in the mood, feel the energy in the room. In the cosmos, it's just me and her in the news. Now we got a call, got another mission to get. She didn't hesitate, she got a gun off the clip. Headed to the villa, area surrounded by killers. She my overwatch, my baby girl was sniping them niggas while I'm in the field. Call me John Wick with the skills, made it to the boss. You got 2 seconds to deal, so tell me the code. So I can get my money to go, but he didn't know. Had a red dot on his dome, she said area clear, walked up and handed her beer. When the mission complete, sweet. Now I'm telling the cheers, now we on the road. About to head straight to the mold, have to lay low and then disappear like a ghost. Hey. Revolution, hope. Yeah. Hey, let's get it. Revolutionary opportunists. Who us? Hey. Hey. You know what it is. Revolutionary opportunists. Let me hit you with true potential, I'm too essential. Revolutionary lyrics will make the world tremble. Keep it simple, I'm going ham on this instrumental. But the government say it loud so you won't remember. Did this member from January to December. Faces mad because they dealing with the epicenter. And my temper will make you whimper, you a little nigga. I'm a god, I turn states into bloody rivers. Metaphorical, fuck corrigible, I'm a beast. Off the leash like Jet Li, I'm being leashed. I'm a feast on every fad that fuck with me. With my lyrics, yeah, I gotta say it publicly. I'm the pebble that's sending ripples on every level. I'm a rebel that's sending shots at you fucking devils. Tell the globalist motherfuckers they can get it too. My girl sent me a mission, what we gonna do? Hey, start a revolution. You know what it is. Hey, what it is. Revolutionary opportunists. Who us? Shooter. Hey, hey, yeah. Let's get it. Revolutionary opportunists. Who was? Shooter. Bah. You know what it is. Revolutionary opportunists. Who was? Hey, yeah. Throw your hands up. Revolutionary opportunists. Who was? Shooter. Kick in the door, what you gon' do when I kick in the door? What you gon' do when I kick in the door? What you gon' do when I kick in the door? What you gon' do when I kick in the door? What you gon' do when I kick in the door? What you gon' do when I kick in the door? With a phone, the brains all down to the soul. I don't even know how to start this, so I'ma just go retarded. Kick up the head from a motherfucking market. 30 red houses, wrapped in the carpet. Don't be a target, pull you back in the carpet. Throw your ass in the garbage, that's when you started. I cover the apartment, this new purge, I'ma cause it. Go like a fountain. Put a bomb on the body, throw the motherfucker in the lobby. Fuck you, globalist, you get body. I'm the apocalypse, you can't stop me. I'm gonna hit you hard like Doc. Head to the pit, but still a Bugatti. Go and kill the Illuminati. Take this land back, just watch me. Woo! Kick in the door. What you gonna do when I kick in your door? What you gonna do when I kick in your door? What you gonna do when I kick in your door? What you gonna do when I kick in your door? What you gonna do when I kick in your door? What you gonna do when I kick in your door? With a combo phone and your brains all down to the soul. I don't even know how to start this, so I'ma just aim at a target. With a fattest blood, don't start this. Snipe your ass from my apartment, just like that. Movie on and bullet, knock his head wide open. You can't bring the pain, you ain't know it. Watch me flood the world and it's over. And your president ain't shit, and your dictator's a bitch. Ministers of fruit cake, that nigga sucking on dick. All you people gonna get chipped, RFID chipping your bitch. And your vaccines ain't shit, people still gonna get sick. Damn, kick in the door, what you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? With a combo fold, let the brains all down to the soul. Kick in the door, what you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? What you gonna do when I kick in the door? With a combo fold, let the brains all down to the soul. Rock it rap, I kick it with the rock and rap. 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 I kick it with the rock and rap.
You know, and since we on the level of mind control talk right now, gotta talk about that motherfucking TV idiot box. This is me, Charles, aka Chuck the God, and Sir Drop Television.
The Bakushi is the master of illusion, and if everyone believes the illusion, it becomes reality. Bakushi thinks he's won the game, but he didn't count on the pinch hitter.
All is continuous vibration, always in motion. Conductor of energy, assault in the ocean. Serpent is the sine wave, polarities interwoven. A chemical sorcery, elixirs and potions. Resonant frequencies, molecular explosions. Your daily programs is heavy doses of hypnosis. People walk around blind even though their eyes are open. No time for ideological salesmen with biblical notions. That box in your room, televised lies through your vision. It doesn't matter your race, status, or religion. No longer have to beat you when your mind is locked in prison. That food is filled with toxins, it's why you can't think clear. Illusion of choice is your option while keeping all in fear. Load up all your weaponry, the revolution is here. I said load up all your weaponry, the revolution is here.
We ain't in the same place, or occupy the same space, so get the fuck out my face.
In the instant, I changed the mission with photosynthesis. Witness the synthesis, ripping endless on instruments. Feel the frequency, energy off this Hennessy synergy. Literally those that take us to infinity. Reading articles, all is horrible. Calling audibles, I'm remarkable. I shot a fed at a carnival. Dust and particles, follicles gon' be everywhere. Heavy pair of some pistols, I shot them holding that teddy bear. Fuck the system, let's keep it simple. Let's raise the temple, make them triple while you're going to where they all assemble. Not Avengers, I'm the Avenger, I seek the injure. Kept my temper till I stuck the hidden blade up in them. Fuck the ruler, here's what they doing to you. Poison water in the food is what you put into you. I'm the shooter with new maneuvers. Caught back to Ruger, super trooper. He is gonna need a pooper scooper. The revenge of Montezuma. Rocking my Pumas, uppercut like a Kuma, sending you straight to Luna. Cosmic verses from universes on new excursions, emerging the virgin. I pull it back the iron curtain. War leaders are war eaters, born cheaters, war sneakers, rearrange their core features. Born reaper, hurricane, the sword keeper, form ether, burn all of the mold geezers. Up in government, parliament, bitch, I'm tarnishing arguments, ain't no bargaining, throw a bomb in the audience. I'm the guardian, strand you all in the cardigan, rearrange the universe, I am the artist.
We ain't in the same place, or occupy the same space, so get the fuck out my face.
As a king, fighting the spirit of Mesa King, vibing to my queen, playing the tambourine, while I'm eating the tangerine. My plasma was replaced with gasoline, got the blood of the Elohim, manifesting through a dream, a shit you never seen. I got the eyes of Medusa, and the hands of Wolverine, astral project with my inner being. We locked in the inner ring, hoping the Anunnaki intervene. While the world is under siege, they got an abyss under the sea, living underneath. Lightning struck me standing under a tree while I was crumbling weed, and an angel swooped down, put me under her wing. Now she shields me from my desires the devil brings. Say my name in vain and you will never bleed. But I ain't
The Bakushi is the master of illusion. And if everyone believes the illusion, it becomes reality.
That's that real hip hop. Let's hit you with some more.
This the real hip hop. This the real hip hop. This the real hip hop. Started with heavy daddy, ready with my machete. Occupy the Getty, saving the children. Hope you ready, I'm Tom Setti. Chopping you up like some spaghetti for Fetty. Yo, lady, go get my car. Make sure it's ready, fast and furious, scrupulous. And I got you haters curious, dubious. Mindset, sure, hubris, I'm exuberant. Eyes wide, just any Kubrick, feeling ludicrous. Mile high club on the plane, fucking the stewardess. On a mission, reach ascension, go to a new dimension. Fuck religion, meditation became my new decision. Shot spitting, 33 like Scotty Pippen. Listen, top missing, need a ransom. Now your pops missing, hop skipping, jump whipping, long top killing, pop clipping, leave a fed, fucking top missing, drop kicking, like an acrobat off a car tripping. Dog, listen, got a sniper up in the tall building.
Gangsta.
Keep it gangster, illest the devil spit it just into the building with an arsenal. About to turn your bitches to particles, show you dead while you're reading an article. At a carnival, not discernible, but I'm disarming you when I'm harming you, taunting you. For the government knows some other shit they be talking. They extracting the public they be sheeple, make evil illegal people. They got people, but equal, I'm throwing off the steeple. Here I'm falling, they are retarded. If the seeds don't get me started, you gon' become a target so departed from the body. And I was mine, I gotta win the wine. My flow is so divine. It's that real hip hop. Freestyle flows that break bones with strangleholds. Can't let go, I can't fold, I explode. Look at the flame of hurricane going so the range. Got a fire up in the game, bringing every pain. Don't make expansion, my advantage. Take your chances, you'll be dead when I blast this. Who the baddest, wreaking havoc. Wrap you in plastic, put your head in the basket. Fuck the fascists, they are flaccid, it's a classic. Bury them alive in the casket, what a savage. True assassin, keep on blasting out of madness. Fuck the bastard, bullets mystical like a dragon. Bagging jasmine, magic carpet, call me Aladdin. By the sand, and change the atmosphere, make a magic. You imagine, hurricane in Atlantis. In the Stratus, shooting laser beams at the planets. That's gangster. It's that real hip hop.
Including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Phenom Road 1 Productions.
He the guy killer, I'm the ex-pot dealer. Hurricane King Kong, low-key Godzilla. Ain't no two niggas realer. Straight bars, no filler. One with COVID, I can't get much iller. These rappers is trash, litter. They not popping shit like a bag. Trigger, bag getter. I'll put a Birkin on body. I pop the trunk on Trump. I'm really unreal nigga timing. You think I'm wildin', belong in the silent. Made in America, so I love violence. When I go hunting, you better get hiding. I got a gun that's so big I can't hide it. Black John Wick, I don't need a switch. Me and my dog, I don't need a bitch. I don't obey the laws. Fuck who create the laws. Run up in the Oval Office, swarming. Black garments, I'm not waiting for the purge. I wanna start it. Don't get in my way, a dilly departed. Conspiracy harlot, I dicked it down, did the party. You tell the truth, you a target. Next come the gaslighting and stalking. I'll put my enemies in a coffin, guarding my energy like a fortress. I'm holding a grudge, I'm really a Taurus. American dreams, it's really a forest. No tie, no suit, fuck corporate. We smoke until we forfeit, we high. We out this orbit, I'm ready to crash out. No foreign, just put the White House on my coordinates. Bullets flying out of Fort Taurus, and we spin it back around like a chorus. He the guy killer, I'm the ex-pot dealer. Hurricane King Kong, low-key Godzilla. Ain't no two niggas realer. 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 Ain't no two niggas.
Ride out, fly out, till the government about to die now. Revolutionary by the pound out. Motherfuckers better run to your hideout. Ride out, fly out, till the government about to die now. Revolutionary by the pound out. That's why they running to they hideout. Power nigga came back to the Bible niggas. I'm the motherfucking God killer. Get the devil in the God nigga. Till the government officials ain't here. Get the motherfucking chop nigga. Pop nigga. Drop a cop on the block, hop in the drop top, then a bop nigga. Can't stop nigga. Till the government came rain with the strength of this motherfucking Glock nigga. I'm back, got mine intact. Click clack, both shots at the Cadillac. Blowing up a neck track. These fans ain't ready for that. I don't think people ready for this. So wanna call me a terrorist bitch. You gonna pay for your arrogance. Ain't even no evidence. I'm a diss in the great this government. Let go. Ride out, fly out. Till the government about to die now. Revolutionary by the wild out. Motherfuckers better run to your hideout. Ride out, fly out. Till the government about to die now. Revolutionary by the wild out. That's why they running to they hideout. Exterminate, I came in to seal your fate. Never motherfucking fed today. Prepared to spray my artillery. You can't get spray your face. You wanna face your fate today. I hate to say you better pray. Spoiler alert, you don't even exist today. So bitch decay, this the way. Revolution motherfucker gonna kill the government today. This the play, blow with the White House. Blow with the Pentagon. Hurricane be the name, I'm been a guy. Y'all niggas is lame, scared to get a job. So grab your gun, we finna ride. Every government official with a pistol, then we gotta ride out with the missile. The game load up, show up, give it no fucks, kill the elites. I'm gonna get them. Ride out, fly out. Tell the government they about to die now. Revolutionary by the ride out. Motherfuckers better run to your hideout. Ride out, fly out. Tell the government they about to die now. Revolutionary by the ride out. That's why they run until they hide out. Enemy line, gotta go across enemy lines. I'm feeling divine, came here to rip out the spine and unalive. Everyone the lie to the people, so we gotta ride. Better decide right now when you're gonna be dying. So the government they want us divided. We gotta put together and defeat the tyrants. These motherfuckers gonna be silent, bitch. I'm violent, fuck everybody. Gonna do the motherfucker like they did the line. But flow like a fire hydrant. Anime got a vibe of violence. It's my life if I decide, and I'm tired out of resistance. Take back the planet is my only mission. Revolutionary was straight position. Time to rearrange this whole dimension. Ride out, fly out. Tell the government they about to die now. Revolutionary by the ride out. Motherfuckers better run to your hideout. Ride out, fly out. Tell the government they about to die now. Revolutionary by the ride out. Motherfuckers better run to your hideout. Ride out, fly out. Tell the government they about to die now. Revolutionary by the ride out. Motherfuckers better run to your hideout. Ride out, fly out. Tell the government they about to die now. Revolutionary by the ride out. That's why they run until they hide out. We don't give a fuck. Tell the government we don't give a fuck. But we don't give a fuck.
Floaty, turn that shit up.
Clutching on my best, so tight I fell in love with Aston Martin. I'ma stack it
up and selling out of big arenas. Hundreds I be folding up, focused on my motion, I became a legend overnight. I'm just trying to rag it up, taking in my denim pocket, true religion, tough as fuck. I just got it out the gutter, what the fuck you cleaning for? When diamonds set out on my niggas, put them in, they lock them up. Free all of my niggas, take us out this bitch and lift us up. I'ma cut the spot number one, bitch ain't no running up. Fucking with a nigga, shit just might get you fucked up. Clutching on my band so tight, fell in love with Aston Martin, I'm about to stack it up. I'm selling out of big arenas, hundreds I be folding up, focused on my motion, I became a legend overnight. I'm just trying to rack it up, taking in my denim pocket, true religion, tough as fuck. I just got it out the gutter, what the fuck you claiming for? When diamonds set out on my nigga, put them, then they lock them up. Free all of my people, take us out this bitch and lift us up. I'ma cut the spot number one, bitch ain't no runner up. Fucking with a nigga, shit just might just get you fucked up. Murder meeting representing party is a true religion. Stop a rapper, true decision. Knock your ass out of building. Chillin' like a building. Smoking, sipping while I'm money flipping. Chillin' with the baddest women. Get it while I'm in the kitchen. Now I'm on the status gripping. Show them who the innocent. On my pivot, never slipping. Revolutionary mission. Haters out the finish. They is never gonna get replenished. Back to business in the instant. Stacking money to the ceiling. Living legend. Grab the reference. It's like a Mac 11. Call a man in the section. Saw that shit on channel 7. Armageddon. Change the setting. Environmental weapon. Change the weather. Every second. Hurricane. Lethal weapon, free my people from oppression, turn the losses into lessons, lose the fear and grab a weapon, teach the government a lesson, selling out a big arena, stepping up in my Adidas, shit was so iconic, so you motherfuckers gotta see this.
This is the HHN special report. I am Hurricane Biden. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all day. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all holiday. If y'all celebrated it or not, whatever. You know, now it's Detroit After Dark. But this is the end of the HHN special stories. We talked about Juliette Engel and her stories on being a part of the MK Ultra program since a child. Father sold her into that shit. Family, a whole bunch of CIA inbred agents and shit. It's all fucking crazy part of the bloodline shit. Just make sure y'all look her up, read her books if y'all want to read some shit. And this your man's Hurricane. I'm out. And it's the HHN. You know how we end it. Mic check. I walk around the streets with my black Tech 9 on the waistline. Look at the hype shit. I never claim to be the best type of rapper, but have to show the motherfuckers what I'm after. I'm after the gold, and after that, the platinum. Beef after that, Hurricane G packs the gat, son. Blah.